Hello, my fellow Biafrans, my wonderful people. We are subscribers all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your location at this very point in time. And depending on where you are hearing from, I still remain your one and only Okute Daily Talk, bringing to us this early Thursday morning broadcast, where we speak to you the undiluted truth about the things of life. Today happens to be the 29th day of December in the year 2022. The year is gradually saying bye-bye 2022. We love you, not minding all the fracas, not minding all the ups and downs, whatever happens. As long as we are alive today, we celebrate. And we pray for the souls of those who lost their life in one way or the other in this 2022. May the Almighty Chukwuka give them rest and let them rest in peace. So if I'm not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that as soon as possible. Turn on the notification button so that you'll be notified each time we go live or post something new on this channel or any other channel relating to Okute Daily Talk. So let us fast, kia, go straight into the news of the day, starting our news with the news of Biafra and what the federal government is telling or how they are deceiving Americans, telling them that what is happening in Biafra land, whereby the Islamic are trying to conquer our lands by force, and they said it's a climate change. That is the lies the federal government is telling to the American government and the other international community and other parastatals who cares to listen and who cares to intervene in the issue of this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and other shenanigans and other things that have to do with the Biafran restoration. But they keep on lying to the public. They keep on blackmailing the Ipob. They keep on doing all fetish things to make sure that the international community see us as a terrorist group or whatever. Not minding that they have went to the US there and be Baltimore University or Kilongbe. They have already blackmailed and they change the tongue of those ones who keep on writing articles that the Biafran organization is a terrorist group. That is the work of Nigerian government. And we cannot relent. No matter what they do or say, we keep on the struggle and we must surely find what we are looking for when the time is right. Do not be deceived. What is happening is sponsored Islamic conquest, not headers and farmers crash. Ipob tells United States of America. The attention of the global movement and the family of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, under the command and leadership of our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been drawn to the laughable, disgraceful comment from the impostor who claimed to be Buhari at the just concluded US-Africa summit, where he said that the Fulani terrorist attacks in Nigeria are caused by climate change. Buhari claimed to be a retired Major General, a position he used in deceiving the international community, especially the Americans, to see him as a man who understands security issues in Nigeria. The problem we are having is that we elected something and another something is ruling us. We don't know who is ruling. First, we thought it was Abakari, and later that one, God will send him away from us because that is another nightmare in the history of Nigeria. Another nightmare again that God will gradually send away from us is Lai Mohammed, El-Rufai. I mean, a lot of them that is causing mayhem in that federal capital territory. They have turned that seat to be a family business, whereby brother and sister, uncles, nephews, sons and daughters, all is in a government house. What are they doing? Doing nothing. Other than they just vandalizing the public funds meant for the development of the country and other things. Sometimes I begin to wonder who do all this thing or how do we get to this point? What gone wrong? At what point do we misuse the opportunity we have to better this country, to make this country to be better than any other country and make the citizens to be comfortable more than any other citizen in this wide whole world? But the answer is still hanging on the air. I don't know where we got it wrong. Nigeria, once described as one of the fastest growing economy in Nigeria, is now the poverty headquarters of the whole world. Things have gone wrong in every ramifications of life. The corruption had eaten deep into the Nigerian system that even to cure that corruption, You have to need all the whole best doctors in the whole world to come and cure Nigeria, because the corruption we are talking about is not here. The corruption that is grandfather is involved, great grandfather is involved. Now their own children are also getting into the system. Look at this minister. Look at this terrorist link minister, Pantami. He has already injected himself into the system, and he has been fighting tooth and nail to make sure that he sidelined that communication area to be his own family business, whereby the son, daughter, family, even nephews, wife, even grandmother, grandfather, all of them, he will employ them into that system. What is happening, my people? Let us continue. It is on record that the Fulani mass movement to southern Nigeria, particularly southeast, is for land grabbing and not because of the climate change. It is an ethnic conquest agenda that the tribal and religious warlord Ottoman Danfodio started in Hausa land, northern Nigeria, in about 1804, but we were stopped at the northern boundaries of the middle belt of Nigeria in about 1809. You see, how can the impostor president claim that the Fulani murderous militias that invade communities with arms and ammunition, killing and sacking communities, are doing so because of climate change? That is a fallacy, a very big one at that. In Nigeria, there is over 320 large, medium and small dams in operation. About 85% of those dams are located in the Sudano-Sahelan region of the northern Nigeria, with 3% of the dams providing irrigation for agricultural purposes and for animal husbandry in the north. So what are they looking for in the southeast and the south-south? North. Presently, northern Nigeria has the largest farming population of any other regions of Nigeria, and the north is the main food supplier for the entire Nigerian population and the ECOWAS region. Therefore, the suggestion by Buhari that climate change is the reason for Fulani herdsmen terrorist invasion in Nigeria is false. Which day did this climate change started first? My own annoyance in this whole thing is that even the president of America is even encouraging him and praising him. Climate change that they just started the news about a couple of months ago, but these killings have been there for over the decades, sacking people from their ancestral land and committing all kinds of heinous crime, killing, kidnapping, raping, abduction, and the rest of them. And you call it a climate change. You are not telling yourself the truth. Anyway, you have already made a confessional statement that you have done your best, but your best is not enough for Nigeria. That means you have acknowledged your failure. We thank you for that. Not every president will do what you did, but may the Almighty God never let us to see anyone like you again in this country. The mass murderers called the Fulani herdsmen are terrorists, and their sponsors cannot use climate change as an excuse to invade southern villages and massacre innocent people. The USA government is assembled African countries in desperation to save a failed nation called Nigeria. The US government provided a platform for Buhari to demonize southern Nigeria, especially the East region, who have been victims of a genocide sponsored by his government. To date, Fulani terrorists have murdered thousands of innocent citizens in their native lands, and not one Fulani terrorist is on the trial for the genocide because it is an ethnic cleansing agenda sponsored by the Fulani control government of Nigeria. That is the simple truth. Simple truth. In the north, when they were being caught, they will say, oh, they will give them amnesty and call them repentant Boko Haram, inject them into the military and send them back to the east. And they continue from where they stopped. The ones who are going with the AK-47 in different villages, killing at the moment people, not even any single one is standing trial. They will call it farmers and the herders communal clash. How can farmers and herders be clashing in a Amufu? What is the boundary between that place and the northern and the Fulanis? No single boundary. They only have boundary with the Benue State. The world must know that Buhari is lying. No, it's obvious that some organizations in the USA, such as International Democratic Institute and International Republican Institute, have either been misled or bought over to provide cover for Buhari to misinform the international community, especially the US government. We have cautioned the two US institutes in our previous press release to desist from further allowing themselves to be used by Buhari against Ipob and ESN. And indigenous nations of eastern Nigeria, especially against the Igbo nation. The world must know that Buhari is lying and deceiving them. Climate change is not the cause of mass migration of Fulani herdsmen, terrorists, nor it is the cause of Fulani herdsmen jihadist terrorism in Nigeria. That is being falsely described as farmers and herders clash. There's nothing like farmers and herders clash arising from climate change. It is a lie from the pit of hell. If it is a farmers and herders clash, then everybody will take on their own AK-47 and begin to shoot this planet back. But they will allow government to do its own duty. They refused. But when anyone carries an arm now, the government will step in. That is one thing you have to notice. There's nothing like farmers and herders clash. You understand me? It is a lie from the pit of hell. What is happening in Nigeria is an ethnic cleansing agenda, which former President Olusegun referred to as Fulanization agenda, taking place throughout Nigeria, but especially in the Middle Belt, the Southeast, and the Southwest. The Fulani-led government of Nigeria has armed jihadist terrorists from the Sahel to invade the rainforest of southern Nigeria to forcefully take over the indigenous lands of all the nations in the Middle Belt, southern Nigeria, and the entire areas of the Gulf of Guinea. The Fulani allies have not hidden their agenda. It is not on record that some Fulani groups have said publicly that the entire Nigerian land mass and the sources belong to the Fulani. They will take it by force. They have said it once and not twice, and they keep on doing things that will let you know that they are serious in what they are saying. This Fulani-led government of Nigeria, which is led by the double of led President Buhari, has been releasing arrested Boko Haram terrorists and recruiting them into the Nigerian military and security agencies to provide cover for the armed jihadists invading the country. Biafrans have decided not to allow the Fulani to grab any inch of our land. Ipob won't allow them to take over our ancestral land by crook, by force, or deceit. Ipob remains peaceful and focused on our quest for restoration of Biafra sovereignty. Therefore, the USA is a beacon of freedom and democracy, and its organizations should not allow themselves to become tools for another Biafran genocide. All we ask is for a referendum date for Biafrans to decide whether to continue as Nigerians or to have an independent state of Biafra, not war against Nigeria. Let everyone who is remotely interested in Nigeria bear in mind that Ipob will never stop this quest for freedom, irrespective of gang ups, blackmail, persecutions, and forceful abductions, until we are given the opportunity to self-determine our future through a UN-supervised referendum. And that is what we have been asking for a very long time now, and nobody cares to listen. Instead, they're invading our land, reducing our populations, using the so-called our governors, our ministers, House of Rep and senators that we elected to represent us there, using them against their own people. And they are mummuli and foolishly following them to perpetrate all this heinous crime against humanity. This is genocide. For me to say, this is genocide they are perpetrating against the indigenous people of Biafra on many occasions, on different angles. They have not done anything whatsoever that will warrant the international community to be praising them. Instead, they're supposed to look into this matter to know exactly where and how to sort out these killings that have been happening in our land for a very long time. So telling us that it is a climate change or kiniko, my dear, I don't buy that idea, because it's a very big lie from the pit of hell. So my dear people, please let us proceed. Before then, have to take 1 minute of your time or 1 second of your time to just write "rest in peace," because the judge Obiozo, the president of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Ohaneze Ndori, whatever you people choose to call them, Ohaneze Ndefulefu, is dead. So let us take 1 minute of our time to consult the family of the deceased and ask that they may find solace before the Almighty Allah. The death of the president of the Ohaneze Ndigbo, Judge Obiozo, had been confirmed. The development was confirmed in a statement released by the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma. You're quick to release bad news, Abi. Hope Uzodimma. In short, Hope Uzodinjo, as people always call him. The statement released by Hope Uzodinjo on Wednesday night was titled "Imo State Government Obituary Announcement." The statement reads, on behalf of the government and people of Imo State, I, Senator Hope Uzodinjo, the Executive Governor of Imo State, sorrowfully announce the passage of a great son of Imo State and Nigeria, the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide, Professor George Obiozor. A renowned academic, an exceptional diplomat and statesman, and a technocious patriotic Prof. George Obiozor passed on recently after a brief illness. This is a second person. Is among those who went to visit Muhammadu Buhari concerning the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu issue and begged him that let this thing have what do they call it? A political. Let them do it politically, let that be a political solution to what the federal government and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is having. And he refused. The first one, Mbazulike, is dead. Now, Obiozor have joined him. All these people tell me if they are going to their grave as a happy man or as a sad man, or if all their requests have been met by the federal government, whereby they are the one that fought for all this democracy and the rest of them. But rather, they are going home sad, in my own understanding and explanation. So let us proceed, my dear people. The death of this foremost Igbo leader and former Nigeria's ambassador to the United States and the state of Israel is a big loss to Imo State, the Southeast, and entire Nigeria. I have no doubt that both Nigeria and the international community will miss his profound intellectual contributions and wise counsels on national and global issues. May his great and gentle soul rest in peace, according to Hope Uzodinjo. The Imo State government disclosed that the better arrangement of Ohaneze Ndigbo president will be announced in due course by the family members. So that is all you need to know about the death of Obiozor, the president of Ohaneze Ndigbo of Nigeria. 2023, our Agbado presidential candidate of APC have come out now asking court to throw away the case threatening his presidential candidacy. Can't you people just go to the court and quash this thing out once and for all? Instead of at the time minute now, you'll be disqualified. This case has been lingering on the air for how many months now? Nobody says anything. The court are not saying anything. Maybe they will delay this thing after the election. Then they will say, okay, now we are going to take up this case. The case and the file have been submitted for him to be disqualified. So let them do something about it. So Bola Tinubu is now asking the court to throw away the charges against him that is threatening his presidential ambition at the presidential ticket. The presidential candidate of All Progressive Congress, APC, Bola Tinubu, has on Wednesday asked a federal high court sitting in Abuja to dismiss a suit seeking his nullification from the 2023 general elections. Have you done what is necessary? Go out there and tell them what is your real age. Is it 1954 or 1952? Let us know. And what is your real name? What is the source of your income? What bullion van is doing in your compound 2019, the eve of elections? All these questions is hanging on the air. Come and clarify us. And what relation do you have with the drug issue in US about 30 years ago? And what led to the forfeiture of $460,000? A whooping $460,000. Some states in Nigeria don't have that kind of money, and you forfeit it to the U.S. government, all in the level of it is a tax. I wonder the kind of big investment you have in the U.S. that you are paying $460,000 as taxes. Anyway, time shall tell. Let the court do what is right, and so that everyone will go home happy. The former Lagos governor, through his counsel, Lateef, told Justice Binta Iyako that the plaintiff, the incorporated trustees of Kingdom Human Rights Foundation International, had no legal rights to file a case against the APC flag bearer. Says by who? Iyako described the plaintiff as a middle-sum interloper who was neither a political party nor a candidate in the pool. The group have sued the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, chairman, the APC, and the Tinubu as first to third defendant, respectively. And an originating move on notice marked FHC/ABJ/CS/1960/2022. The group sought an order of mandamus directing INEC to exercise its statutory power in accordance with the Section 84 of Subsection 13 of the Electoral Act of 2022 to immediately expunge Tinubu's name from its final list of potential candidates contesting the 2023 general elections. The plaintiff filed a suit under the premises that the APC failed to comply with the mandatory provisions of Section 91, Subsection 3 of the Electoral Act of 2022, which stipulates that a political party should not receive any contribution of cash or any kind exceeding 50 million naira without showing the source of the contribution to INEC and among others. However, the defendant in a preliminary objection filed his late counsel Lateef Fagbemi Sang prayed the court to dismiss the suit for being incompetent. So you are now the one telling the court what to do. In a 14-ground argument, Tinubu's counsel insisted that the suit, which questioned his client's eligibility in contesting for the 2023 presidential election on the ground that the APC failed and or neglected to identify the source of 100 million naira, which is paid for his expression of interest and nomination form, was justiciable. Okay, we're gonna use English. Yeah, they scatter my head. My own be said, I must read this news and read it perfectly. Fagbemi argued that the suit was a statute bad as the plaintiff had failed to bring their claim against Tinubu within the 14-day period stipulated by the 1999 Constitution as amended. He therefore stated that the court lacked the jurisdiction to hear the case. He further argued that the plaintiff's originating press is incompetent as the nomenclature originating motion on notice is a process appropriate for a pre-election matter, according to the spokesperson, the lead counsel. Justice Nyako fixed January 27 for judgment after counsel to the plaintiff, John Mary Jidobi, APC lawyer, Audu, and Fagbemi, who appeared for Tinubu, adopted their processes and presented their arguments for and against the suit. And I will keep on the present, they amend, they tight, they lose. Even when you people know that is the simple truth and that is exactly what needs to be done. But for the fact that you people have eaten and you don't want to vomit what you have eaten, you keep on pursuing just something that is not justifiable, defending something that is not defendable. That is the problem we are having in Nigeria judiciary system. I am surprised Buhari government has refused to make move against Sheikh Gumi, said Sunday Ugbo. Of course, they're supposed to do something about it. How can somebody come out on the national TV, both in Hausa and in English, and says that nobody should vote for anyone that is going to fight against the bandits in the forest, that they are their warriors in the forest, and nobody is saying anything, nobody does anything. Almost all the whole radio stations, everyone keep mute. Brown envelope, all these brown envelope media houses, no one ever said anything about it. But let that somebody from south or southeast now make that comment, that it will be a headline. It will be something that to write home about. Let somebody from the southeast now make something like nobody should touch Ipob. Just do not say anything. Do not say anything about ESN or non-government. Just nobody should touch Ipob. I'm telling you, within the next 24 hours, that person's ass will be whooped and he will be sent to either DSS or SS. So look at somebody on the national TV confidently telling these people that bandits are their warlords, their warriors in the forest. Who are they fighting there? If Nigeria is in peace, then tell me, what are the warriors doing inside the bush or inside the forest? Is forest meant for human beings or animals? Sheikh Gumi need to be investigated. This man have done this not once, not twice. He have been going to inside forest to negotiate with all these bandits and collecting his own share. The government have turned deaf ear to all these things. we are watching. And you tell me that this one Nigeria is going to work? I doubt it, not now and not ever. The embattled Yoruba leader activist Sunday Adeyomo, popularly called Sunday Igboho, has slammed the Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government for failing to take action against controversial Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi, Abubakar Gumi. Recall that Gumi has recently called on Nigerians to vote for those who will not fight bandit terrorists if elected president in 2023. That is not ethnic bigotry, ethnic sentiments. That is enough to cause havoc in the land. Speaking during a sermon, Gumi urged Nigerians to vote for leaders who would instead negotiate with the bandits. While describing the bandits as our people, Gumi said Nigeria's next set of leaders should negotiate and give bandits what they want for peace to reign. What do they want? They want to take over Nigeria. Exactly. Now that is Islamization we are talking about. Flannerization. They want to take over Nigeria. That is their land. They want to take it over by force. So that is what you want the presidential, anybody that we're going to win, to negotiate with them and hand over Nigeria to them. And we all will just clean our hand. And I am Nababi. And the government are not doing anything. The EFCC and DSS and the rest of them, nobody is doing anything. The military, the Air Force, the Land Force, the Navy, everybody keeps silent. As if no job wage you don't know about. God have mercy. Don't vote for politicians who will attack key bandits. They are our warriors in the forest, he had said. Reacting in a statement obtained by Niger News on Wednesday, Sunday Igboho stated that the controversial Islamic teacher is continuously rubbish the federal government, and the government are not doing anything because the government by the people, with the people, same people, and by the same people. So how are they going to do anything to him? How? They are the same people. They are the same people killing us. They are the same people killing us. They are the same people that decide what happens. But that thing they decide, or whatever they want to do will end in Asoro or Abuja. Let them not cross southeast. If they want to take northwest, north central, and everything that concerns the north, they are right to take it. It belongs to them. But for the southeast, no. You people should not try it. Calling on Yoruba people to take their destiny in their hands, the activists claim that their lives are being run by the lives of Gumi. According to Igboho, the Yoruba nation must stand strong, refuse everything that their subjection represents. His statement reads, Sheikh Gumi is a known sympathizer of the bandits. He has, on many occasions, rubbished the federal government and clearly canvassing support for criminal bandits. Exactly. It is surprising that the federal government has refused to make any move against him, despite that there are clear laws banning covert sympathy for terrorists. They will not quote that. They will not quote it. But under Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, they will tell you that what is called staying of execution, or staying of ruling. That is child God. Gumi's statement is a confirmation of my conviction that the Yoruba people must put their destiny into their own hands. The North is in fact in control of Nigeria, has lost grip of it, and dragging every other tribe to Golgotha. Yes, of course, they have lost it. They have lost it to Fulani, and now they want to drag almost all the regions in the country into the mess they have caused in this country. The earlier the Yoruba people realize that their lives are being run by the lives of Sheikh Gumi, the better for them. It is now crystal clear that the politicians are behind banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism. We know this long ago now, not today. Imagine how would the government make progress in the fight against kidnapping when a man like Gumi makes unguided inflammatory statements of this nature but continue to walk free unchallenged. It's only in Nigeria it can happen. Other ethnic groups in Nigeria are born in the deadly games of the North. I saw these issues, and they form my unwavering support to install a Yoruba nation. Under a Yoruba nation, there will be no one that would have the gall to fan banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism in Yoruba land. With Gumi's statement, is there any need for anyone in Yoruba land to remain on the fence on the matter, Yoruba nation? Everyone is a secus. The Yoruba nation must stand strong, refuse everything that their subjection represents. The Yoruba people must unite and chart our own agenda. This larger issue is not about me, Sunday Igboho. It's about the future and the security of our people and the coming generations. Of course, if any mistake you make, the future generations will suffer it just like we are suffering the mistakes our great-grandparents and parents did in the past. That is why we are where we are. You don't kill me with your English. Yes, that is why we find ourselves where we are at this very point in time. Just look at it. And the mistake, if we made it, future coming generation, nobody knows what they will face. Look at the mistakes of our parents or our great-grandparents that they did. Look at where we are today. And the mistake we are going to make, just be rest assured that our next generation will never have anything that they call the country of their own. They will become indigenous in their own land. Mark my word. Mark this word. If we did not correct what is happening now in the Nigerian system, either the country has been divided, let everybody go on their own way. If you don't do it, just be rest assured. Now the bandits are sacking us from our homeland, killings, right? That is the mistake our parents made, and our own mistake will result that the land will be taken over by force, and our future generations will have no country. They will just come out and they tell them that they are refugees in their own land. And when they begin to ask questions, what about our parents? It is not where they lived and died. They will tell you that you are a foreigner. You begin to look, then you begin to run helter-skelter. I totally agree with Sunday Igboho. The earlier that every region in the country correct the mistake, the better. Otherwise, what the future generation will see, my dear, of course, they will not be there, but they will be the one to suffer what the mistake of our own today. Let us be wise. I am using this medium to call on all Yoruba sons and daughters to join our engagement and seek to determine their destiny. If every other region can stand this way and fight for themselves and demand for a referendum, I think this country would have been a better place for each and every one of us. But for the fact that some people that is why we find ourselves where we are at this point in time. So my good people of Biafra, the lovers of freedom and the lovers of mankind, if you love what I'm doing, make sure you subscribe to this channel or any other channel related to Okute Daily Talk. Turn on the notification button so that you will be notified each time I go live or post something new on this channel or any other channel related to Okute Daily Talk. So have a nice day, and may the Almighty Chukwuka bless the works of your hand, lead us through, and also do what, and also perfect all imperfections in our lives. So I am signing out for now. Bye, and may God bless your works of your hand. Amen. Thank you.